All right, our 7th early stage company, Glassbuilding, right here in Bend, Oregon, a document agnostic AI platform that democratizes negotiation of a commercial lease while promoting industry transparency, authenticity, and trust. Welcome, Glassbuilding.
Simplicity is sometimes good.
I can understand yours.
First of all, thank you all for being here. My name is Craig Reinhardt. I live in Bend, and I am the founder and lead investor in Glassbuilding. I've been negotiating leases globally on behalf of technology companies, from startups to established companies, for over 30 years. And our first product at Glassbuilding is called Lease AI, and it's a SaaS solution that enables brokers to negotiate lease documents for their customers faster and at a lower cost than ever before. Every day, thousands of businesses around the world start lease negotiations to secure that financial future of their business. And they expect it to be straightforward, and it often isn't. They may have spent months evaluating buildings, the market, negotiating business terms, getting their teams excited about a great building, only being told to hold off on signing until the lease is actually ready. Attorneys, brokers, it's an exhaustive process. What if you could sign a fair lease the same day you pick a building? What if you and your landlord could put that lease away? Just go out and ride mountain bikes, never have a reason to talk except show up for something fun like a PubTalk. Here we are today. For the past 5 years, I've been thinking about this problem and brainstorming with my technology clients how AI can actually help reduce the time, reduce the friction, and create an environment where you could actually sign a lease again the same day that you select a building. For a broker around the world, it's like Groundhog Day. Every single lease, well-intended or not, starts with a landlord generating a contract, handing it over to you. It's a one-sided contract, and for you as tenants, the stakes are high, and for us as service providers, the stakes are high as well. It's really important that we get this right, and there's tremendous inefficiency with no end in sight until now. While Lease AI was conceived as a tool for brokers, the technology has broad implications in reviewing all contracts. We believe it can disrupt this archaic back and forth negotiation and quiet those voices at the table that say, I've never given those terms before, when you know it's not the case. We're laser focused on the broker and supporting the broker save time and deliver unique value for their clients. The market for Lease AI is large, and broker interviews tell us that Lease AI is needed now more than ever. Fortunately, brokers are used to paying for such services and subscriptions for data and valuable tools, and there's a line of sight to approximately $110 million in revenue just from brokers and from tenant subscriptions in the US, Canada, and UK alone. Attorneys, landlords, businesses in rural areas, and the rest of the world are additional opportunities. We're going to pursue enterprise sales to major brokerage firms and product-led growth to smaller firms before building out a suite for landlords. This is technically challenging, though we funded and developed a proof of concept version with Lease AI that works. Our team is experienced, we're lean, and we're distributed between Oregon and Poland. I'm focused on bringing a proven tech startup leader on to join me as soon as possible, and we're raising a seed round of investment to commercialize Lease AI as a first mover and to make the headquarters here in Bend, and we need your help. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
So how many of you in the room truly know what triple net means? I don't know, maybe like 4 of you. I mean, this is what you're for, right? Like, as a commercial realtor is supposed to do this. And so what's the vision? Are you gonna like replace commercial realtors with a piece of software? Or is this a piece of software for commercial realtors to make them do their job better?
Yeah, it's to give brokers do a fabulous job. For years, I've been looking for a way to take what's in my brain and actually deliver that to a much broader audience, including as a training tool for younger brokers. Attorneys, exact same thing. The attorneys that we have on board love this idea. They view that it's potentially going to reduce hours, but it's going to make them far more strategic. So it won't replace anyone.
I love to hear that. We aren't replacing anyone. Any questions from the audience? Okay, Steve, looks like you've got one.
Audience always trumps me. You know, you guys get your questions in there. You can shut me up. Question for you. You know, we're all investors in this room, and what is the exit strategy for a company like this?
Well, at this juncture, you just can't make promises, as you well know. So I'm not going to signal that we're going to have a certain percentage of the market. However, CoStar, JLL, the company I'm with today, all the major brokerage firms see this as a really unique opportunity. There's a tremendous amount of risk for the landlord who thinks they've just had a tenant. We've got attorneys and brokers, you know, trying to drive towards a deal, but it could take weeks, if not months. And then the existing landlord turns around and comes back up and says, I'm going to give you special concessions for you to stay. Tremendous amount of risk. So the discussions we're having with the brokerage firms right now and the landlords all see this as risk mitigation as well as training. So if we can shorten that window from the point that a tenant says, I want to be in that building, you go now solve the lease. We want to take that down to like near zero time.
So if this software can automatically generate leases, how does it do that? Like, why? I mean, how do I know that what your software is creating is a fair lease and a perfect lease that everyone's going to get on board with?
So a little bit of background on what we attempted to do is I wanted to find every place in any lease document. So completely agnostic, don't care what document it is. I want to serve best practices anywhere in the lease. When you want to read a sublease clause, the best practices from the best real estate attorneys on both landlord and tenant side is served immediately. And that works. That works 99%. What doesn't work 99% right now, because we only had a data set of 15 leases, was to flag bad language. And if you're in the business and you understand this problem, every single lease, whether it's 16 pages or 86, has the exact same level of clauses from sublease, insurance, et cetera. So one, we get to serve language properly in the correct spot. Two, we've been flagging bad language, and bad language is much easier to find than good language. We have not taken it to the point yet where we're suggesting and actually creating that smart dialogue that takes you from the landlord's lease to something you can sign, but that's where we're headed.
This is very cool, Craig. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I feel like this is going to catch on with some people who are going to be able to make this thing happen. So, well done.
On both sides of the world, landlords, tenants.
Yeah, it's very
for you.
cool.
You can go have beers quickly.
This is for everybody. Thanks, Craig.